Something that we want to get good at as historians or as economists is being able to look at documents and source them correct, okay? When we look at documents, what we want to be able to do is talk about what the text is, what the context of that document is, and what the subtext of that document is. With the text, there's tons of different documents, okay? There's tons of different sources. You've seen the actual historical document. It may be a legal form. It might be a piece of political rhetoric that's written down. It could be a speech. It could be a painting. A lot with letters. You guys have done a lot with photographs of the time. Within that text, one of the things that you're going to try to find right away is what do you see or what's readable? What can you pull out of there? What's the general information provided by the text? Let's talk about the text then real quick. When you get into the text, what type of document is this? So if you were to classify it as a primary source, what type of primary source would it be? With what's in it? What's in the Declaration of Independence? I love where you went with they, because I think when we are historians and we're trying to get points on a test in a UVA, we need to be more specific than they. So help clarify it. A pretty good job of text. If we had more time and we were really going through it, I would have you read it. I'd have you close read it. I'd have you underline some things. When you start to get into context, it's a little bit harder because some of you have a great historical background and some of you don't. Wherever you are is fine. It's our job as instructors to kind of find the balance between what you should know and what you need to know looking at documents, and either give that to you up front or after you look at a document. This, depending on the context, could skew what the meaning of the text actually is. Okay, so let's start with historical time period. What's a historical time period we would throw this into? Okay, 1776. So if we were looking at a history textbook, this would be in what unit? Yeah, it's a revolutionary time period, right? Okay, so that's the context of the time. What's going on in America during this time period prior to maybe when the Declaration is written? And Goldsberry, you alluded to it a little bit. What are some things that are going on during the American Revolution or prior to the writing of the Declaration of Independence? Okay, so America is a colony of whom? You're right, I'm going to paraphrase. Great Britain, right? Who's ruled by what type of government? A monarchy. Yeah, I'm going to keep going with this, right? And that monarchy is doing what that would prompt the writing of the Declaration of Independence? Yeah, they have to follow rules that they don't want to. And the number one thing that you remember prior to the American Revolution was what big event? Yeah, the Boston Tea Party. So are you visualizing some of the background with me? And we're all where we are with American history, and we're okay with it. The point is if you understand the context a little bit better, you can start to understand what that document says a little bit more. Okay, right? And then when you get into subtext, it's more vague. This is a little bit of research and sometimes guesswork that we do as historians. It takes a lot more work to do, honestly, the subtext does, because it's not going to come out and bite you in the nose as far as what the subtext actually is sometimes. It's going to take some coaching by us, it's going to take some research or inferencing by you to figure out what the subtext is. Does anybody want to tackle subtext a little bit? Who was the author? Okay, so we got Thomas Jefferson who writes this document, right? Okay, audience, thank you. Who's Thomas Jefferson writing this for? Is it? I'm not questioning you. I'm not saying you're wrong. So he's saying, Cale's saying that he's writing it for King George. Is he? So you're saying he's writing it for the colonists. You're saying he's writing it for the king. Who's correct? Yeah, it could be both, right? I mean, you could have two separate audiences. Does the message change? If Thomas Jefferson is writing this for the people, the message is to do what? What's the purpose of it? Yeah, and if I'm a pumped up, jacked up American colonist and I'm reading this, what's my reaction? What's my emotion right now? Yeah, I'm super like I should be inspired about reading this. I should be super angry at the British. Yeah, he's right. If I'm the British Parliament or the King reading this, what's my reaction? Yeah, you're upset because these are people that are trying to break away. They're speaking out against you and they're super angry. So who is a voice that would have been left out of this? Is there one? Well, this is definitely written from, if you are taking sides of the American Revolution, right? Is it written from the colonists or is it written from the king's side? Okay, the colonist side, so whose voice is left out? The king. Is there American colonists whose voice could be left out? Is there a certain population of people in America whose voice is left out? So the context of this word's important to think about, right? A woman's voice is maybe left out. African Americans who are slaves at this time, Native Americans who aren't American citizens at the time,